my wife saw something in the paper and told me about the program with Dr. Henschke. I went down there, and they accepted me. I was in the program. It was a yearly scan. I went there every year for about 10 years, maybe a little more. And then I stopped. I was smoking a pack a day. And I'd get an all clear. And the ludicrousness of it struck me one day, because after leaving, I'd go out on the street and light up. I said, what am I doing this for? And I couldn't stop, or I tried to stop, I couldn't. And I stopped going to see them. And I must have stopped for 2 or 3 years. And they kept calling me and writing me. And one year, it must have been 3 years had gone by, just to stop them from nudging me, I went down. And that's when they discovered it, fortunately, in the early stages.
Mr. Kingon has been with us since 1997, and he came regularly for his annual scan, and then he stopped coming for a couple of years, but he said that we kept calling him, and when he came back, we saw a nodule. It was bigger than the ones that we usually see, but it was still in stage 1, and it was removed. We had shown in our previous publications that if you find lung cancer early, in early stage, on a CT scan, that you have a very high cure rate. The cure rate was 80%. That means an individual at risk of lung cancer gets a CT scan, finds a cancer, 80% of them can be cured of that lung cancer. And if you find it in earlier stage, you can have even a higher cure rate.
The key thing was they got it. I remember the phrase, stage A1. It didn't mean anything to me at the time, but I've always remembered that. And apparently that's the earliest stage. They operated on me, and I think I came home after 6 days. My kids picked me up, got me in a cab, we went home. I didn't have radiation, I didn't have chemotherapy, and that was that. And I have my yearly checkups, and so far, they've been good. There's really nothing to it. They put you on this platform and you go into the tunnel. You're in, you're out, and you'll know for another year that you're clean, as I hope to be.
The CT scan is a simple test. From the time you start to the end is probably 15 minutes. The scan itself takes much less time, but getting on the table and off the table takes a little bit more time. So you're finished within a relatively short time. The risk is minimal. The radiation dose is that of a mammogram or less. We have worked in this field for 20 years, very carefully determining how best to acquire the images, who needs further workup, what that workup should be. And that's very important for a screening program. But also important is to have a multidisciplinary team that you work with. And we have gathered that multidisciplinary team at Mount Sinai. We have all of those components which are necessary to have a full screening and treatment program.
The CT scans gave me a new lease on life. Had I waited even another 6 months, I think I would have been a goner. I've had 3.5 years of life to enjoy my family and my new grandson, and I look forward to seeing him. He's a breath of life for me. And doing the things that I enjoy doing, as limited as they are, I still enjoy doing them. And it's better to be on this side of the curtain than the other side.